Jerry Roush is back! Yay!
Yeah.
Except no one knows who he is probably listening to this. But the reason we bring that up is because we are reviewing the first LP from Glass Cloud, which is a new post-hardcore band signed to Eagle Vision Records. And the reason that they are making waves already in the scene is because they are the house and project of former Sky Eats Airplanes and of Mice and Men vocalist Jerry Roush. My name's Alex.
I'm Brian.
And we decided to take a listen to this one because, well, admittedly, I'm a big Mice and Men fan, and I remember the days when Jerry was in it, and just kind of piqued my interest, especially with all the good reviews that I was seeing with this. I'm just going to let Brian get right into this one because you actually had no idea about this band until I told you.
Nope, no idea at all.
So I'm going to let you start with your good points because I'm interested to hear what you think because we haven't really talked about this that much.
Yeah, and I got a short list of comments, but when you first hear it, it hits you, sounds a lot like Periphery, and then there's a little bit of the band's structures in there as well. Guys' screams are great. I didn't know that was who the vocalist was at all, actually, but screams are great. The breakdowns are pretty damn heavy, and then the rest of it is just some like atmospheric like parts, and then the guitars just shred pretty much.
Yeah. I have to say, for the most part, I have to agree and have to disagree with you. And the reason I say that is because normally with bands like this, you got bands that are led by one guy who's been in a big band before. It's a hit and miss affair, and I think this is one of those cases where it does hit because he does stuff that's radically different from Mice and Men. I'm not a big listener of Sky Eats Airplanes. Are you?
Not really.
Okay. I don't. I probably should have done a little more research on that, but not the point. But I don't know if this is more in vein of Sky Eats Airplanes, but you're right. You're definitely right on the fact that it is very atmospheric. I think the songwriting really lends itself to that because it is so atmospheric, and that does create a kind of unique feel that the album has. It's one of the first things that kind of popped out to me when I was listening to it.
Yeah. I got a few like minor criticisms though, like.
Well, why don't we keep elaborating on the good before we get to the bad? It's one of those albums that to me is taking something that like Periphery does and kind of toning it down for a more atmospheric feel to it. I don't know if you got that.
Yeah, it was like a step down of Periphery, just.
Which, I listened to this right after Periphery, and I really like that about it. It's that it was that toned down style that I thought lended itself to a more, I don't want to say structured, but I would definitely say more mature album. Which is not what I expected with this.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree though.
But I guess the other thing that we do have to say is the guitarist, God, can he shred.
Yeah, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got much else to say. I didn't. Yeah,
I think you're right. There is some criticisms that we can't say about this, though. It's not a perfect album. There's definitely some problems. One of the big problems that I had is that I feel like it does make some generic mistakes within the scene, like unnecessary breakdowns and kind of bland lyricism at points.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then some of the songs seem pretty similar. There's not much variety of song.
I didn't feel that way with it. I thought every song did enough to make itself different. I would say, though, one of the main things that I noticed is that for as good as the production is on the album, there's some songs where it does hurt it. Like, for example, the second song on the album, If He Dies, He Dies, it's a song that the guitars are kind of mix matched. I don't know if that was on the soundboard or if that was in the instruments itself, but it just has a weird sound to it. And I think if you let those guitars bring up and do better, I think it could have been a much better song.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear how you thought about like how you got this all the songs sound the same. Like, when did you start to notice that?
Pretty towards the end. I don't know. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would, because I heard a few songs and I'm like, oh, this could be really good, but then it sounded pretty similar. I don't know. It's the first listen. I wasn't too paying attention on it because it didn't grab my attention as much as I thought.
No.
But,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Towards the end, like this 8th or 9th song, it just seemed like they were kind of the same structured songs.
Huh. That's interesting. That's a big disagreement that you and I have, but I think it's time to just get right down to the nitty-gritty and give our final say. I'd probably give this, after the first listen, I was going to give it a download just because it was, to me, it was different. It was something different. It was not what I expected, and it was that factor of the surprise that I originally said, let's make it a download. But after listening to it a couple more times, it's really grown on me to be a full price, because it's a great album that takes something like Periphery and Veil Maya does and just tones it down a little bit to get a more mature sound. And it's that surprise factor and just the fact that realizing how much I've been listening to the songs, I'd be lying to myself if I didn't give it a full price.
Yeah, and like you said, you listen to it a lot. I've like once or twice I've listened to it. I didn't really give it too much attention, and maybe it'll grow on me. But right now, I'm just gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5. Stream it, just give it a listen, see what you think. But I was probably more worried about the other albums we had to review and didn't give this one a fair listen. But
well, I'd say maybe go back and check it out a little bit more. It's one of those albums that I'm glad to see bands like Periphery are causing. And this type of metal, Gen, as it's called, where, guitar solos are munching about, there's much more strong structures, I'm all for it.
I love it too, but I just didn't.
I'll take one of these guys over something like Asking Alexandria any day of the week. But if you got anything else to say, I think that's it.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and keep on listening.